Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now today I would like to talk to you about something of a strange subject because I'm talking about respect. Something which is really hard to gain and win from people, but it's incredibly easy to lose. And never more so than now, because we live in an era where maybe aspects of your life which would have automatically garnered you a respect no longer do so. Just because you're a person maybe of advanced years, you're a senior person, senior citizen perhaps, got a few years under your belt. Or maybe you're senior in your job. You've worked in the same company for many years. And in the past, people would have afforded you a level of respect based simply on the fact that your status in work and in life merited that. But those days are long gone. Respect now is a much more difficult thing to achieve from the people you meet in life. And incredibly so at this era. Because we're living in what they call this woke era, aren't we? Where, we are all very careful not to tread on the sensibilities of other groups of people who feel that they should demand respect based on a feeling, an emotion, or a sense that they have about their journey through this world. But let me tell you something, gentlemen. The very simple reality is this. If you want to gain respect from the people around you and set the tone for your future relationships, whether you're starting in a new job, you're walking into a room full of strangers and you want to win them over, win their respect, or whether it's a social situation, maybe you've moved to a new area, you're going to go to a local bar or a pub for the first time and you're going to be going there quite often, so you're going to be seeing these people over and over again. You want them to see you in a certain way. You want them to respect you. And the fact is, even if we live in a woke world where these sensibilities are all over the bloody place, the truth is, if you exhibit a certain collection of virtues which are age-old, people are going to recognize you as a certain sort of person, and they will respect you because of those virtues which you demonstrate to those around you. You will definitely set the tone for your future relationships and friendships if you do so. So these are some of the reasons today why I think, or what I think you have to put out there to gain the respect of those around you. Now, the first suggestion I have for you is to be a man of your word. Without a doubt, in my long life, right, having served in the military, having served in law enforcement, having met so many people from so many different walks of life every day, the one thing which gains respect from me and the people that I know faster than anything else is reliability and honesty. If you tell somebody you're going to be somewhere or you're going to do something, you will never fail to live up to your word, because not to do so is the fastest way to lose credibility and to lose the respect of other people. Empty promises and unreliability absolutely is a big red cross over somebody. Their credibility has sunk as soon as I realize they can't be trusted to do what they tell me, and the respect is lost forever. It's never even won from the beginning. In an era where vacuous virtue signaling seemingly has taken the place of real character amongst men, for me, when I meet people who I know I can trust, it really wins me over to them. I know these are people I want to be associated with. In other words, I give them my respect. The man whose word is his bond is the man that I want to know, that I want to call friend. Be the oak tree amongst the sea of saplings who inhabit this world today, and be the man who does what he says every time, and you'll win respect. The other thing you're going to need to do to gain the respect of other people is to carry yourself with confidence and not arrogance. Because confidence is a trait which is deeply valued. One would say respected in the people that we meet. But there's a fine line to walk. Confidence and not arrogance. And you know what the difference is? Humility. The confident man doesn't care about what other people think, what they're doing with their lives, or how he interacts with them. He believes in himself and he carries himself accordingly. The arrogant man feels the need to belittle others to elevate himself. He seems to run people down, pointing out their faults, pointing out how they've done something wrong in order to move himself up. And that is arrogance. It is fundamentally unattractive, and it is a very quick way to lose the respect of those around you. The confident man, in other terms, is going to have almost a magnetic effect on the people around him. Because when we see confidence in somebody who carries themselves in that way that you can tell they know what they're doing. They've got this. Whatever the situation is, you know those guys who walk into a room and they can just get the job done. That's confidence. And we are attracted naturally to people who harbour those traits within their personality. So quite simply, carry yourself with confidence, absolutely do away with arrogance, and it's going to work for you. Now, another character trait which gains my respect when I meet people for the first time is somebody who stands by their principles. I don't know about you, but as I stride through life, all I seem to hear these days are people of the modern generation complaining about the trials and tribulations of, let's be honest, their feather-lined lives. It's never been easier to be a human being in the Western world. But if you hear people today, they're going to tell you how life is awful. And they're clutching at the closed wounds of the past to complain about how the world is doing them a disservice. But I tell you, the man who has my respect is a man who doesn't bother complaining. He knows instinctively what is right and wrong. He's got his own moral compass and he stands by it. He is never going to rein in his beliefs, his core values, just because it might trample over some modern Gen Zer who thinks the world is a horrible place and they've been hard done by. The man who gains my respect, you never hear him whinging. He just gets the job done and he just gains my respect in so doing. Now, the other quality which I value in a man is the ability to enter into respectful disagreement. Because, let's face it, respect is a two-way street. And at some point, you are going to have to enter into conversations with other people who don't share the same views as you. And for me, people who can do so, who can have those two-way conversations without hostility, without unpleasantness, absolutely will gain my respect. The sort of guy who will not argue with somebody, but he will put his point across without feeling the need to raise his voice or assert his dominance over somebody else to try and get them to change their mind. He doesn't become emotional. He lays out the facts as he sees them, what his viewpoint is, and waits for an alternative viewpoint in return from the other person. Now, let me tell you, the man who really gains my respect is somebody who keeps an open mind, regardless of the conversation being had. Because if the other person brings the evidence that is able to change your mind, well, why would you not do so? Don't just stick to your argument, becoming emotional and angry because the other person doesn't change their view to yours. Not at all. If they have a better argument, well, the decent man, the well-respected man, is open to changing his worldview, because that is what respectable men actually do. Now, the last quality which I respect in a man is, let's be honest, strength, because strength is attractive when we meet people. And I don't just mean physical strength, I mean mental strength and emotional strength. Because people who are able to show good resilience in traumatic situations, who are able to stay calm when others around them are falling to pieces and screaming and not knowing what to do, well, that definitely wins over my respect. And in an era where failure and victimhood seems to be glorified in people, I really respect men who show strength of character and are prepared to own up to a situation when they've done something wrong or something is their fault. It's not often evidenced in the modern world. You don't see people who have the fortitude today to say, I've made a mistake and I'm going to own it. I'll give you a good example. 65% of the population of my country, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, 65%, two-thirds, nearly said three-quarters, two-thirds of the population are overweight or obese. And I'm going to put it into real terms, I'm going to use the F word, they're fat. But if you speak to people who are afflicted by obesity, they will tell you, oh, it's not their fault. God, no, it's not their fault at all. It is genetics. I have inherited my large boned structure from my forebears. Or it's the government's fault because they don't control the amount of fat or sugar which is widely available in the supermarkets. In fact, if you listen to them long enough, they will tell you it's everybody else's fault except their own. It's not their fault that they put too much food into their mouth, and that is why they are obese. The well-respected person in my mind is the person who says, well, I've made a mistake. I have let myself get into this position. Now it's time for me to get myself out of it. Now that ideology, that philosophy to life, that's what wins my respect in a man. So there we go, folks. For me, earning the respect of those around you does not mean complying with every modern trend which seems to come along. It's the old-fashioned stuff. It is about being true to your word, sticking to your values, having strength of mind and body and emotion, and just being decent to other people. That is what will win people over. That's what will gain respect from others. And that's why others will gravitate towards you as if you were a magnet. Because those qualities, confidence, things like that, that's what people want to see in a person, even in this modern era of all these lightweights in the world today. Now, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, click the old like button and subscribe if you want to see more like this. You can ask me a question to get my views on any modern take. Drop me an email or drop it into the comments. You can support the channel by buying me a coffee, quite simple, or for a tiny monthly fee, you can join my Patreon community, where you will benefit from the additional videos I make exclusively for my patrons, and you'll get a personal dialogue with me should you want it. Links are in the description box in the show notes below. I'll see you soon. Be a respected man. Exhibit those qualities, and we will all like each other a little more. Take care.